Hello, Oilers fans. It is June 1st, and Edmonton is still in the playoffs right now. June 1st, 2024. We have June playoff hockey. The Oilers will be playing Game 6 in Edmonton tomorrow night at Rogers Place for a chance at making the Stanley Cup Finals. And I'm trying to contain my excitement. I'm trying to keep the goosebumps, tempered here. I'm just trying to relax because I know how much work still needs to be done for this team. It feels really good right now in the moment. Obviously, I'm excited, but knowing that there is a lot of work to be done. Dallas, they're not going to go down without a fight. This is a team that was in the conference finals last year against Vegas, and they made the cup final in 2020. There are players on the Dallas Stars that are, they're game breakers. You have the Wyatt Johnstons, you have the Logan Stankovens, you have Sagan, you have Ben, you have Rupe Hintz. You have guys that have been here before, and that type of maturity, that type of leadership, that type of veteran presence, they're not going to go down without a fight. Edmonton has to be ready to go tomorrow night, but we're not going to talk about tomorrow. We're going to talk about the game last night. As I mentioned, the Oilers won 3-1, and it might have been the best 60 minutes I've seen this team play all playoffs. Top to bottom in this lineup, everybody's, they have their roles, they're contributing, and I pretty much have no complaints. And Stuart Skinner, man, I really wish Stuart Skinner would have got the shutout last night. Some of the saves that he had to make early in the first period and then in the third period especially. Of course, the only goal that ended up beating Stuart Skinner was Wyatt Johnston's just impossible tip. One of the best tip goals I've ever seen in my life. Stars fans, seriously, when Wyatt Johnston and Logan Stankoven are on the ice, my butt cheeks are clenching because of how good those players are, the amount of skill that's on display. So the big thing for Edmonton, though, if we look at the stats on the left side of the screen here, the power play. The power play came in. They went 2 for 3, and that ended up being the difference maker in this game. If the power play doesn't click, you likely have a 1-1 game heading to overtime. So it's nice to see the power play step up for the Oilers. They end up going 2 for 3, which is terrific. Nugent-Hopkins, he had 2 goals. First one came off a Bouchard shot and rebound, and then the second one was just a beautiful snipe. Nugent-Hopkins patented wrister. Very underrated shot, in my opinion, for Nugent-Hopkins. And Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, he's one of these players. He's been here. He was here for a large chunk of the decade of darkness. Team-friendly deals to stay, and for him to step up in Game 5 on the road and give the Oilers a chance to go up 3-2 in the series, I couldn't be happier. I'm so happy for Nugent-Hopkins. I'm happy for the team as a whole. And yes, this is a day after episode, and I know I mentioned in the last one that I would not be able to talk for 30 minutes. I know for sure I can't talk for 30 minutes in this video. My voice and throat, it's shot from the live streams recently, and so I'll try and keep things brief, of course. But if you like these day after episodes and you've liked my playoff content, make sure you hit that like button. And if you have not yet subscribed, make sure you are subscribed to the channel and share with your friends and family or anyone that you think might be interested in this channel. We're continuing to grow a terrific YouTube channel here. We're almost at 2,900 subscribers. And of course, we will be hitting the 3,000 subscriber milestone within the next few weeks. So that is incredibly exciting. Cannot thank everyone enough for your support. So again, thank you very much. As I mentioned, day after episode, the Oilers lead the series 3-2, score at the bottom, and then, of course, the advanced metrics. Those are in all situations from last night's game. The Oilers had the edge in expected goals for percentage, but Dallas had the edge in high danger Corsi for percentage and scoring chances for percentage, which is interesting. So it just means that the Oilers, their high danger looks had higher expected goals percentage. Because Dallas, they had, some really good looks, especially in the third period. The high danger variety, let's take a look. In the third period, in all situations, it was only 4-3 for Dallas. The Oilers had 3 high danger looks in the third period. Just looking at Natural Stat Trick, by the way. You can find all these stats on Natural Stat Trick. Sometimes I use Money Puck as well. But again, take all the advanced stats with a grain of salt, especially in one-game sample sizes. So topics today: defensive masterclass. I kind of already touched on that. Then I'll talk about Philip Broberg. Then I'll talk about Stuart Skinner, and of course Nuge. And then I'll talk about the special teams briefly, the keys for Game 6, and then my closing thoughts. So let's just jump right into this here. Defensive masterclass. Oh yeah, by the way, everything will be timestamped. So if there's any part of the video that you want to skip to, it will be timestamped for you. First topic: defensive masterclass. The Edmonton Oilers are playing this this style of hockey that is not allowing Dallas to establish any kind of attack off the rush. Dallas was the fourth best rush attack team in the regular season. And last night, after 2 periods, Sportsnet put up a graphic, and they get their data from SportLogic, which is another advanced stat-based website. It's more private data. The public doesn't really have access to a lot of their data that I'm aware of. But SportLogic, they had the rush chances at 6 for the Oilers and 0 for the Dallas Stars after 2 periods. The Edmonton Oilers, they have figured something out here. And after they went down 2-0 in Game 4, they scored 8 unanswered goals before they finally gave up 1 to Wyatt Johnston from that moment on. And it just feels like the Oilers have figured something out here. And even though they had a 3-0 lead after 2, and I was telling the live chat during the live stream, I was like, I still don't feel comfortable. I can maybe start to feel a little bit more comfortable because Dallas, throughout that whole third period, they could not attack off the rush. It was all dump and chase. Dallas just kept flipping the puck high into a corner, and the Oilers defenders were forced to go back. But the Oilers defenders, because they've inserted Philip Broberg into that lineup and taken Vinny Desharnais out, and then you have Darnell Nurse, who's a good skater, and then you have Bouchard and Ekholm, who can also skate. It's tough for Dallas to beat anyone to the pucks. It's tough for them to gain possession. So the Oilers, they just wait for Dallas to flip it in. Edmonton retrieves it, and then they just flip it off the glass and out, or high up the middle into the neutral zone and out. And, it's not pretty to watch. This is not a style of defensive play that you're going, wow, this is exciting hockey. No, this is how you need to play to beat a team like Dallas. This is how you need to play in order to win these tight playoff games. And the Edmonton Oilers, they put on an absolute clinic last night in the third period. Yes, Wyatt Johnston scored. Dallas had a couple really good looks. There was the one-timer. I think Sam Steele had a really good one-timer look. And Skinner, he made some big saves when he had to. But the Oilers, they're doing a phenomenal job at suppressing shots and keeping things to the outside and not allowing any high danger looks. They're not allowing anything in that slot area. I know Dallas on their one power play, I think it was in the second period, there was a tic-tac play, and the puck, Johnston one-timed it, and Skinner made, again, another great save from the slot. And, Stuart Skinner, he looked calm all night. And for the Oilers defense, that gives them confidence when their goalie's making saves, and then that gives the forwards confidence to attack when they are given the opportunity, when they get the puck. And for the Edmonton Oilers, this is the style of defense that you have to play. And they bent a few times, but they didn't break. I will say, though, for some reason, Chris Knoblauch had Nurse and Ceci out there late last night, and he had them out there a couple times in the second period. Not sure what Knoblauch and Coffey are doing. I don't know if it was just because they were limiting Broberg's minutes, so they're trying to get CC to, keep playing a little bit more. I'm not sure what that was, especially in the third period. You're defending that lead, 2-goal lead, and Dallas had their net pulled. They had Nurse and CC out there. I don't agree with it. However, Chris Knoblauch and Paul Coffey, their coaching fingerprints are all over this team, and they know what they're doing. So maybe that was just a gut feeling, and in the end, it ended up working. The team, they were able to kill off the empty net opportunity for Dallas, and they weren't really in any danger after Dallas pulled their net. They didn't have any real good opportunities on Skinner. And I forget who it was that missed the empty net. Was it Janmark at center? I can't remember who it was. I thought for sure it was an empty net goal. Ended up missing just wide, but doesn't matter. The Oilers, they're playing this defensive system that, to the eyes and to fans that like high octane hockey, not exciting. But if, to players on the team, they've bought in. This team has bought in 100%, and I could not be happier. So Edmonton, again, there's a lot of work to be done. Trying to temper my expectations, temper the excitement at level just a little bit, because, we saw Vancouver with the 3-2 series lead in the last series against Edmonton. Edmonton was able to win 2 in a row. Dallas for sure can win 2 games in a row. So the Oilers, they just, focus on right now, focus on the game tomorrow, 1 game at a time. They do have 2 opportunities if needed to try and move on to the Stanley Cup Finals. And you don't want to look too far ahead, but the fact that they are at home, and Dallas, they've been a good road team. I think Dallas is now 4-6 at home. Like, they just have not really played well at home for some reason. It's really strange. Jake Ottinger's splits as well, his stats too. So for the Edmonton Oilers, defensive masterclass, love to see it. Now, next player I want to talk about here is Philip Broberg. He scored last night. Philip Broberg, he had a bit of a shot from the point, bit of a C-nice shot. It beat Jake Ottinger on the glove, and Matt Duchene was kind of in his way, and Ottinger kind of stared Duchene down like, you know what, if you're going to stand in front of me, maybe get in front of that puck too. I don't think Jake Ottinger was very happy with Duchene's positioning, and Duchene just kind of, I don't know if he pulled his arm down at the last second or what it was, but obviously Ottinger was late reacting to the shot. And Evander Kane, he's the one that took the faceoff. Adam Henrique was kicked out of the faceoff draw. Evander Kane, he comes in, he takes it, he wins it back to Philip Broberg, who, again, nice shot off the post and in. I saw a lot of people on Twitter last night saying that shot reminded them of Oscar Klefbom, the post and in, that like ping sound. Everyone remembers, the famous Klefbom tying goal in Game 5. It was Game 5 against the Sharks in 2017. The Oilers were down late. Klefbom had that bomb from the left point. It went off the post and in. The Oilers tied it, go to overtime, and then David Desharnais scored the eventual overtime winner. So I saw a lot of fans talking about Broberg, good-looking Swedish defenseman, shot from the point, post and in. We've seen that kind of before. Huge goal in a big game in Game 5, and you know what? I would have to agree. It was a nice goal for Philip Broberg, and for a guy like Broberg, all the talk in the season about him possibly requesting a trade, being sent to the minors. He just couldn't find a spot on the NHL roster. He never asserted himself at the NHL level. He played very well in the AHL all year, at least according to the people that I follow that are really good at analyzing and scouting these players. Philip Broberg had a terrific year in Bakersfield. And he comes up. He's one of their black aces. And then Troy Stetcher, well, now he's hurt. So Broberg's the next man up. And Desharnais in this series, struggling a little bit with the foot speed because Dallas is a fast team. They might not always play fast, but they are fast. And, Chris Knobloch, Paul Coffey, they make a decision. You know what? We're going to sit Vinny. We're going to play Philip Broberg. And I think in the 2 games that Broberg has played, he played just over 14 minutes in Game 4. He played just over 12 minutes in Game 5. You couldn't ask for more from a young defenseman like Broberg. His skating, by the way, is his strong suit. There were a couple times last night, even in the third period, where that puck goes behind the Oilers' net. And a lot of defensemen on Edmonton might just try and rush a play up the boards or just try and throw it off the glass. And they're panicked by the forecheck of the Dallas Stars. Philip Broberg, he's so good at just stopping. He looks up, doesn't see a pass. He just skates, and he just skates out of trouble. He'll skate out of the zone. He skates up to his blue line, and then he'll make the pass. And you love to see that. Philip Broberg, that is his strong suit, is his skating. And sometimes I wish Darnell Nurse would use his foot speed more too. Nurse, he's doing it a lot more as well in the last couple of games. But for Philip Broberg, you can't ask for more from a young defenseman that's being put into a situation where, that kind of pressure, man. Like, imagine if Broberg had come in and really struggled. Now, the advanced metrics, they're not going to be kind to Broberg just because he does play with Cody Ceci. But I don't look at the advanced metrics for like a 2-game sample size. I pretty much ignore most of that. Again, I post the stats for 1-game sample sizes, but that's for people who like the numbers. When it comes to a guy like Broberg and tiny sample sizes here, I like Broberg's game. I think he's played well. He's given them quality minutes. And the most important thing is he's given the coaching staff confidence that if they want to keep him in, they can keep playing him. Or if they want to put Vinny in and be like, hey, Philip, be ready to go again because we're going to need you. That's huge. And Philip Broberg scoring that goal, giving the Oilers that 3-0 lead. 2-0 lead is good. 3-0 lead is better. And the Edmonton Oilers, they haven't really found like a killer instinct in the playoffs. And when the Oilers were up by 2, a lot of people in my chat, they're like, oh no, the dreaded 2-goal lead. Philip Broberg providing that insurance, providing that third goal. Huge. Very key goal for Edmonton, and Edmonton never looked back. So for Philip Broberg, very happy with his play. Speaking of players that I'm happy with their play, Stuart Skinner. As I mentioned a little bit earlier in the video, Stuart Skinner made some unbelievable saves in the third period. Again, he's not tested a lot, but he is being tested. There were some really good opportunities for the Dallas Stars that Stuart Skinner, he came up huge on, and the only goal that got by him was an impossible tip from Wyatt Johnston in front of the net. There's nothing that Skinner could have done on that one. Would have loved to see him get the shutout. I will admit, when Dallas made it 3-1, the heart rate started to get up a little bit. I was like, okay, well, now it's a 2-goal lead with 5.5 minutes left. There's a lot of time for Dallas to get into this, but Stuart Skinner quickly put any fears I had to rest. He made couple big saves late. And just that third period as well. The Oilers, I liked that they were asserting themselves early, but then once the 10-minute mark of the third hit, you could tell the Oilers were kind of coming back into a bit of a shell. They weren't really pressing on the forecheck as much as I would have liked. Now, they didn't completely collapse like they did in some games against the Canucks. That Canucks series, it's like the Oilers had a third period lead and they went, you know what? Let's not even forecheck. Let's not even try and get the puck past the red line. So I will say, I think the Oilers have learned a lot from that series against the Vancouver Canucks. I think the Canucks, and this is a credit to the Canucks, by the way. So if there's Canucks fans watching, I just want to let you know that your team, I think, really helped set the Oilers up for some form of success here against the Dallas Stars in terms of managing a lead in the third period, because we saw how often leads were getting blown throughout that Canucks series. And then even in this series with the Dallas Stars, the Oilers had that early 2-0 lead in game 3, and then Dallas absolutely pedaled to the metal, kind of took over that entire game in game 3. But, you know, since Dallas went up 2-0 in game 4, the Oilers have really found a way to shut things down and just play smart, calm hockey. Nobody's panicked out there. Every single line is being rolled out there. Everyone, like I mentioned, they have their role, and Stuart Skinner is instrumental in this team's success. Skinner's given up 11 goals in 5 games in this series, so just over 2 goals per game. I think he has a save percentage of .908, but that's kind of skewed by the 4 goals against on like 21 shots or whatever it was, or 22 shots in game 3. I can't remember what the actual stat is. I'm sure someone will be able to let me know. But Stuart Skinner, he's played well the entire series. He's given them a chance to win in every single game, even game 3, where he gave up that, you know, that icky goal to Jason Robertson, who I still give a lot of credit because Robertson's a really good player. I still like Stuart Skinner's game. This is the best playoff series I've seen Skinner play in an Oilers uniform, just from game 1 to game 5 so far. And he's going to have to, the Oilers as a team, they're going to have to be better in game 6. As good as the game was last night, they're going to have to play better. They're going to have to even show more in game 6 if they want to, you know, shut things down and move on to the Stanley Cup Finals. So Stuart Skinner, happy right now, but again, you're the starting goaltender. There's a lot of pressure, and there's going to be a lot of eyes on Skinner tomorrow at Rogers Place, and we'll see how he handles it. All right. Now, I did like his post-game interview. He was talking about, you know, tomorrow he gets to, you know, be on the plane and then beat his teammates in Mario Kart, and he was talking about playing Toad, and it shows that Skinner right now, he's relaxed. Stuart Skinner is relaxed, and he's talking about Mario Kart. He's talking about just enjoying the moment. So you love to see that from Stuart Skinner. Let's see if the team can rally around him as well. Now, the next player I'm going to talk about here is the Ryan Nugent-Hopkins. He scored 2 goals last night, both on the power play and his 5-on-5 play as well. I think that was probably, I would say, the best game I've seen Ryan Nugent-Hopkins play in an Oilers uniform. And, you know, the production was good. Like, the 2 goals was great. Like, obviously that helps the team win. But his overall play, there were a few plays on the back check where he stripped guys. He prevented Dallas from getting any kind of rush chance. And his play in the offensive zone with Hyman and McDavid, like Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, to me, he was driving that line last night. Normally we talk about McDavid driving a line. It was Ryan Nugent-Hopkins. He really seemed to be that like heartbeat for the offense for the Edmonton Oilers, for that top line especially. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins had an unbelievable night last night. I did want to give a quick shout out to him because without Nugent-Hopkins' stellar play and his stellar play throughout this entire series, if I'm going to be completely honest with you, and this entire postseason, you know, there was a lot of talk about Nugent-Hopkins not really not being a playoff producer. Well, he has 6 goals and 14 assists. He has 20 points in the postseason this year. Contrast that in last year's playoffs where, you know, he had 11 points in 12 games, but he was a -6. The year before that, he had 14 points in 16 games, but he was a -3. Not the plus-minus matters, by the way. I'm just, talking about, why there was criticism. But last year, he only had 1 goal in 12 games. This year, he has 6 goals in 17 games. And he's looking really good. He plays 20 minutes a night. He's instrumental on the special teams, and penalty kill and power play. So you absolutely love to see that for Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, and he's been phenomenal. Could not be happier as an Oilers fan that has watched Nugent-Hopkins pretty much grow up, and he's played his entire career in Edmonton. I'm really rooting for him tomorrow as well in Game 6. Next thing I'm going to talk about here is special teams. Now, special teams, like I mentioned, very special last night. 2 for 3 on the power play, 2 for 2 on the penalty kill. The Oilers penalty kill has now killed 25 straight penalties. That is unbelievable. I don't know what the all-time record is in the playoffs or just in general. 25 straight power plays have been killed for the Edmonton Oilers. And actually, if you look at the goals for and goals against, the Oilers are +1 on the penalty kill. They have a shorthanded goal, and they have not given up a power play goal against. This has been instrumental in the team's success. Not just in this series, but against the Canucks and the LA Kings. The Oilers were perfect in that Kings series too. I think Vancouver ended up with 3 power play goals. Vancouver's the only team that has managed to break through the Oilers penalty kill, and this is a full team effort. The Edmonton Oilers penalty kill in the regular season was around 80%. It was good, wasn't great. It had its moments where, it was streaky. I remember the Oilers penalty kill in the regular season. They'd go like 19 for 20, but then they'd give up 5 goals on their next like 8. And then they'd go 19 for 20 again, and then another like stretch where they're poor. The entire postseason, it's been a masterclass. Their special teams have been an absolute masterclass. The power play was clicking really, really well until this series against Dallas, and I'm really happy the Oilers were finally able to push through. Scored a couple goals last night on the power play. That is humongous. I mentioned in the pregame report that power play was due to break out. There's only so much you can contain that before it eventually just bursts, breaks through the dam. So special teams, if Edmonton wants to have a chance at the Stanley Cup tomorrow in game 6, or if needed, game 7, the Oilers special teams needs to continue to be as good as they've been and maybe even better. I think that power play still has room to improve here. And the penalty kill, they just have to make sure that they continue to keep playing their roles, keep doing what they're doing, because it's helping the team win a lot of games right now. This is something that we're not used to seeing from an Oilers team, especially on the penalty kill. The power play has always been great. Edmonton's power play has always been phenomenal for the last several years, whether it was a Tippett team or Woodcroft team and now a Chris Knobloch team. But it's the penalty kill that's been inconsistent. This penalty kill is phenomenal, but it needs to be even better tomorrow in game 6. The Stars are going to get a few looks. It's going to happen. Dallas in general, they're going to be coming out flying tomorrow night. So I guess I'll transition into keys for game 6. The big keys for game 6, the Oilers have to remain level-headed. They have to play calm, they have to play disciplined, and they just have to play their game. Continue to prevent the rush attack from the Dallas Stars. Continue to take advantage of mistakes in the neutral zone. And of course, your big players, let them do their thing. You have the Hymans, you have McDavid, you have Draisaitl, Nugent-Hopkins, guys that can take over a game offensively. Evan Bouchard. Those are the big keys for game 6, in my opinion. Like I said, play calm, play disciplined, play your game. Right? Those are like the big things. And of course, just go out there and shut things down and prove to the world that you deserve to be in the Stanley Cup final. There's still a lot of people. I see it on social media. I'm still seeing it on Twitter this morning. I've seen it on Reddit. I've seen it in the comment section on Sportsnet and all this stuff that, Dallas just isn't playing good enough. Dallas just hasn't shown up yet in this series. I think the Oilers, for some reason, there's some people that aren't giving them the credit that I think they deserve in terms of their overall play here. All the talk heading into the series was Dallas's depth. Well, the Oilers, they have depth too. And depth doesn't always just mean depth scoring. It means, can you roll 4 lines? Can you put anyone out in any situation and be comfortable? And right now, the Oilers are able to do that. Chris Knobloch is able to do that. And the players are rewarding the coaching staff. Knobloch has made some tough decisions. Look at Warren Fogle. He was taken out of the lineup. He's a 20-goal scorer from the regular season. He hasn't played the last 2 games. Knobloch has made tough decisions and, taking certain guys out, putting guys back in the lineup. We'll see if Fogle ends up playing game 6. We'll have to see how Corey Perry's feeling. Corey Perry looked a little shaken up in the first period. He did come back. He did finish the game. I thought he looked good. He'll probably play if he's good to go. I don't think Chris Knobloch's going to want to mess with the winning lineup. If there are any lineup changes, it's probably Ryan in for Carrick. That seems to be kind of like the play. It's like, your 4th line center. Who do you take out? Who do you put in? I didn't think Carrick played an amazing game last night, but I didn't think he played that poorly either. But for the most part, those are my keys for game 6. And so just looking at things as a whole, just taking a step back. If you're an Oilers fan watching this, just try and embrace the moment. It is June 1st. The weather's beautiful today, at least where I live. If the weather's nice, go for a walk, take a deep breath in, smell that fresh, almost summer air, and, feel good about where the Oilers are. But also, if you are feeling nervous about the game tomorrow, if you're not sure, that's also understandable. There's still uncertainty. The Dallas Stars, they are going to come out. They are going to give the Oilers everything they have tomorrow night at Rogers Place. But if you're going to the game, be as loud as possible. Be deafening. Let's hit like 110, 115, maybe even 120 decibels in Rogers Place. If I was able to go, I would for sure be able to contribute to that. But I will be live streaming tomorrow. So if you want to make sure that you want to, don't miss the live stream, I do live stream commentary. I have the live chat. I have my cat cam, although my cats are very shy now that I've set up a webcam near their bed. It's so funny. Throughout the entire postseason, when I do live streams, one of my cats is usually up on my desk beside me. I finally set up a cat cam, webcam for my cat bed, and now neither cat wants to lay on that bed. 2 games in a row, I have not had a cat up there, so it's like, well, maybe they're just a little shy. But if you do want to possibly see my cats and watch the live stream, hear me do commentary, answer your questions, again, make sure you like this video, make sure you're subscribed if you're not yet subscribed, and then, of course, before you head out or, before the game tomorrow, just tell someone that you love them. All right. I truly appreciate all of your time, Oil Country. I did manage to keep this video under 30 minutes. So, yay me. We'll see you tomorrow. Tomorrow I'll have a pregame report up, and then of course I will be live streaming tomorrow night. So thank you so much for tuning in. Truly appreciate all of your support. It means the world. Let me know your thoughts about the game last night. Let me know your thoughts about the series as a whole, and let's go Oilers. All right. Take care, Oil Country. We'll see you in the next one.